Women in their 40s and 50s are invisible.
With the way my dating life is going right now, I feel like I'm gonna be single for a long time.
Something happens as we get older that I call the invisibility factor.
It's not that you become invisible as you get older. It's that you stop attracting the wrong kind of attention.
Women over 50 are coping so hard as they've become invisible to most men.
Anyway, no one gives a shit because I'm over 50 and I'm invisible now.
When I was 55, I felt like I was starting to fade. I felt like I was starting to go invisible.
Visibility. There's a phenomenon that happens to women.
Men have been invisible their whole lives. It's a first-time experience for women. Kindly subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you. Thank you.
Fuck this single shit. I'm ready to settle down and be with someone for the rest of this weekend.
So I'm walking in the rain in central London. Look, beautiful street. And I'm eating a cheese and pickle sandwich, if you know, you know. But the funny thing is, it's like I'm on my phone and nobody gives a shit because there's a raindrop on my head. Anyway, no one gives a shit because I'm over 50 and I'm invisible now to everybody. Nobody sees me, so I can do the bloody hell I want. And it's very freeing. I can get soaked and eat cheese and pickle sandwiches. Who's with me?
Nobody.
Most people are so worried about this, and this, that they forget what really matters is this, and this.
It's not that you become invisible as you get older. It's that you stop attracting the wrong kind of attention. Your frequency is so finely tuned that you are no longer inviting in strangers, only friends you haven't yet met who vibrate on the very same level as you. You are not invisible, my friend. Invincible, yes. Never invisible. And you have earned to move around in safety and peace the way you do. So respect the space you have built for yourself. You have done well. Invincible, never invisible.
This woman can tell herself what she wants to hear, but the fact of the matter is, women struggle to date once they've reached the age of 50, 40 even. I'd say the attention they use to get diminishes by large. They don't get as many compliments as they did once they were younger. Some of these women actually have convinced themselves them being invisible has become a superpower, as you will see. It's something they wouldn't have said if they were young and still catching the eyes of men.
Something happens as we get older that I call the invisibility factor. Now, it happens to men too, but I think women are probably more attuned to it. As time marches on and our faces and our bodies start to change, we become less and less noticeable, particularly to younger people. Now listen, the beauty of getting older is that you stop giving a shit what other people think. You know who you are, you've stepped into your power, you don't need external sources of validation to fuel your self-esteem. And yet, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I am aware that I am less visible, and there are times where I'm a little conflicted about it. I think it's one of those challenges of aging that we don't really talk about.
Just turned 51, and I feel completely invisible when I go out. This is very difficult, especially when you've been told you are beautiful your whole life. I have to remember, that's not where my worth comes from. The important people in your life will always notice you. The rest is just ego. I'm good with being invisible. My dog validates me every day. I'm 70 and feel invisible all the time. In fact, sometimes people meet me and later have no idea who I am. I'm now totally forgettable. I do feel bad. I used to turn every head in the room. Not going to lie, I miss it terribly, but I do love who I am now. It was a big shock when it happened to me. It gets worse every decade. I don't care now, but it still hurts at times when no one will even listen to me. Almost 40, and I still need the validation of being seen for my self-esteem. This is true. You go from being able to stop traffic to ignored. This is just the reality of life that has to be faced someday. The beauty card and the privileges are all gone once these women hit that point in their lives. It's all new to them. It's something they're not used to, because the spotlight has been on them for a very long time. This is what I call the John Cena effect.
Read 3 hours ago. Fuck you then. I don't care if you ever message me again. Bitch. Love of my life. What's up? What's up?
Single women who are over 50 years old who have been reaching out to me for wife coaching tips, I'm no longer taking them. Don't pay the money through my website because I'm just going to refund it to you. I've had a couple of experiences this week, and here's why. Most of you, not all, but 99% of the women who are 53 and older, specifically 53, 55, 57, 59, 61, 64, in those age brackets, have been the most challenging for me to coach because the standards are unrealistically high. I get that you're old school and I get that your mom raised you to only interact with gentlemen, but most of the men who do all of the stuff that you're wanting are dead, or they're not looking for 55 or 57-year-old women. There are some younger men who do that, and you don't want an old man because he can't perform in bed. Well, the younger men don't want an older woman because some of you have arthritis, some of you have missing teeth, you have gray hair, you have grandkids. Like, you got to be realistic and balanced in your thinking.
If you've made it to your 50s, lawn care is more important than dating. Life is crazy. 50 to 60 used to be a grandparent period in life, but now it's a dating age. To be in your 50s and have high standards is wild. I'm 53 and single by choice. I know what I want and refuse to settle. I'm good being alone till the right guy comes along. Seriously, lady, waiting until the right guy comes along at 53 years old, that's something that should have been done a long time ago. Dating is already hard out there for women over 50, and adding unrealistic standards on top of that is like you begging nobody approaches you. I guess it doesn't matter how old women get, the delusion always follows.
Being bisexual is crazy because I only get with men after a girl breaks my heart. Like, I'll never be with a guy because I really want to be. It's just because I'm sad. And he actually makes me more sad, but at least, like, he'll buy me dinner.
Imagine being attracted to both genders and still can't find someone to date you. It just shows that you're the problem. This is something that men have to be aware of when dating. Women who are just with them, just for food. By the way, this woman isn't bisexual, she's just by herself.
Again, I'm not out here bashing women or nothing, but I think we have to speak about the reality, which is, as women get older, their value and appeal in society diminishes. And this is all the reminders for all the slay queens out here that your beauty is finite. You don't have to believe me. Go on Google and search 50 and invisible. And tell me what results you find. So all these single women professing that they're doing really good by themselves are most likely not over the age of 50. And by the time they do get to that age, they don't even get attention at the grocery line. And while that might be well and good for some of them who say, hey, you know, I have a dog, I have my material possessions and all of that, that I don't get attention from men, the sad reality is you're going to be walking into your golden years by yourself. So play your cards right.
All those pathetic women who demonize men deserve to end up alone. I'm female. Maybe that's why some older women dress in big colors, crazy hats, funky jewelry, to get noticed. I'm 55, and I found it definitely happens around 50. People also don't want to listen to me. I turned 60 this month, and I have really been feeling this. I'm acutely aware of this over the last few years, and I'm definitely conflicted about it too. I don't think a lot of married women think about it. Now that I'm divorced, it feels so much more obvious for some reason. Strange how I would come across this video when I felt this for the first time recently. It does hurt a little bit. Women tends to get angry when they hear this kind of news. They always talk about how happy they are living in a big house by themselves, or how good they're doing by themselves without a man. But those things will mean nothing, because these modern women won't have anyone to celebrate that success with. For all of those boss babes and single independent women, this is the life that awaits them if they don't work on their character and change their attitudes. They make having materialistic things their whole personality because that's all they got. Once that beauty fades away, your character as a woman plays a huge part, and that's what most of them fail to understand.
Hey, I like you. Yeah, I like you too. Do you want to date? No, ew, that's disgusting. I just want to do everything that people in a relationship would normally do, but I just want to stay friends. Okay, well, I'm gonna see other people then. What? I thought you liked me. I do, but you're not ready for a relationship, and I am. But I still want to do everything that people in a relationship do. What don't you understand? I just don't want to label. I don't like labels.
Visibility. There's a phenomenon that happens to women over 50 and maybe a little sooner for others. You can start to feel invisible, almost devalued. Ageism for women, although it's gotten better, is still a real thing. We don't value our elders in the United States like they do in some other countries like Japan. I do think women over 50 want to be visible still. Things may have changed on the outside, few more gray hairs and lines, etc. But we still have a lot of wisdom and value to offer this world. So that's what I meant by visibility.
Do you think it's intentional? I don't. I think it's subconscious that we're no longer seen. I feel like a ghost now. It's so strange. Ha! You should try being a man. It starts around 22 and goes to 92. 1,000,000%. I became invisible at work in what felt like overnight. The invisibility effect happens to men as well, but it is way more for women. It hits them harder because it's a new discovery to them, so it frightens them. But for men, it's something that's been there since birth. It's something that men have had to deal with in every aspect of their lives. That's why it's important for a man to work on himself and add value to his life, because he's always gonna be wanted.
Well, I just got broken up with in Italy, and my now ex-boyfriend is on his way to catch a flight back home, and I am staying.
So I've been single since 2017. I don't want to be single, but I don't put a whole lot of effort into not being single. Yeah. I'm on a dating app, Hinge. I know you've heard of it. Yeah, so every once in a while, I'll just delete it and think, I'm good. I don't need anybody. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to die alone. So I, download the app again. And I have a problem because when somebody who is so attractive tries to talk to me, I'm like, no, sir. Maybe my confidence is like really low now that I'm older. But I'm like, no, what do you want with me? Like, look at you, look at me. And then I feel like it's a scam. Anyone else? Dating in your 40s sucks. It sucks. It's absolute malarkey. We can just agree on that.
I am 41, single mum, and I want someone. Dating in general sucks, no matter the age. I'm 50, and I'm having the time of my life traveling around the world with my 38-year-old girlfriend, never getting married again. Better than the average guy that gets no swipes or likes. I'd imagine that good-looking guy is cleaning up and going from one to the next. So much for being independent. How about we go back to the old ways of just meeting people that we actually see out at places and get rid of the apps? Dating has gotten so bad to the point where people are considering being alone forever and planning on dying alone. But the truth is, we all die alone. Some people just want to have someone there with them in their final moments. But you just have to think why some women are single in their 40s. It's honestly a red flag. Maybe finding a husband wasn't their priority in their prime. Maybe they've snapped out of the feminism brainwashing technique and realized the importance of a man. Some women have been independent throughout their lives and find themselves in this predicament where they're still single at 40. Dating for women compared to men is a piece of cake. There's no way this woman didn't get good men trying to come at her. She just most likely ignored them.
Being ran, yes. I like gangbangs. I like being manhandled by several different men at once. If you want to call it being ran, you call it whatever you want. I'm sexually liberated and I'm a goddess and I deserve to have hands all over my body.
Right.
I deserve to be worshipped. Like, why not? I deserve that attention.
Sure. All right, so
you need help.
60 things that are great about being 60. Number 16, invisibility. Now I know what you're thinking. What's great about that? Having people ignore you or just not even see that you're there? But remember, invisibility is also a superpower. And we can use that superpower for good.
Are you crazy?
Again, this is just coping. If women were getting the same attention they were getting, if they were in their prime, they wouldn't be telling themselves these things. They call being invisible to men a superpower because they have to. They say it's great because it helps them get by throughout their day when no one noticed them. Now don't misunderstand, some of them might actually like the idea of not being noticed by men, but it's a very small amount compared to the women complaining that men are ignoring them in their 50s. Because those women are still seeking the attention of men. They're still seeking the validation they once had that was boosting their egos. Father time is truly the one that humbles all.
So where are the girls that are not going to be with a man just for his money?
Where are the men who are going to build me a house, buy me a diamond, and die in a war?
Keep dreaming.